Welcome to all the new people that have joined us. I'm really glad to have you here. Those who are watching, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Don't miss out on any of this fun. Today is Try It Thursday. I'm very nervous about today. I'm going to try doing blooming onions, but I'm going to try it 3 ways. So, I'm terrified to deep fry. Actually, I'm not allowed to deep fry by myself because I'm dangerous. So Claudine's going to come over and help me at the deep frying point. So I'm just going to tell you what I have done so far, and we're going to chop the onions up ahead. So, in this container here, I've made a dip. I actually haven't even tasted this dip yet. I'm just assuming that it's going to be good because it's got good ingredients. There's no measurement of ounce for it. I just did it by sight. I put equal parts of sour cream and mayonnaise. I probably put about a half a cup of each. Then I put a squirt of ketchup, some Worcestershire sauce, some smoked paprika, about a teaspoon of that. And then I put some sweet chili sauce in just to give it a little bit of heat. The recipe that I had seen had wanted you to put cayenne and Tabasco. We're not heat people, so I did this ahead of time. I used the sweet chili instead. And I did this ahead of time so that it could sort of sit in the fridge and get cold and be more delicious. All right, then I've got my dry ingredients here. In this bowl, I have 2½ cups of flour, a teaspoon of Italian spice, a tablespoon of smoked paprika, a teaspoon of chili powder, and some salt and pepper. And when I was doing the salt and pepper, just to let you know what I did, I had my pepper in a little bowl. I just, put my fingers in and pinch it. And I proceeded to throw pepper all over the counter, all over the floor. I'm a disaster. I can't hold on to anything. But anyway, so then I whisked this up so that it's all mixed together. This bowl has my wet ingredients. This has a cup of milk, a cup of water, and 2 eggs, and then I just mix that together. So that's going to be the thing. Now we're going to try it 3 ways. The first way is going to be the traditional way. And what we do is we double dip. We go wet, dry, wet, dry. The other thing is I don't have huge onions. I have 1 larger onion and then smaller onions. So the bigger onions, they say, work better, but you work with what you have. So the first way, we're going to do the traditional way. After we do the wet, dry, we put it in the freezer for 10 minutes. Then we fry it in oil for 10 minutes. And while it's in the oil, we don't lift it up because they said that makes it soggy. I don't know why, but it does. The second way, we are going to do in the air fryer. We're going to compare the oil fried to the air fried. So what we do is we double dip again, wet, dry. This time we put it in the fridge for 30 minutes, and then we air fryer it at 350 for 20 to 25 minutes. So that's going to be 1 in oil, 1 in the air fryer. The third way is for people who don't want to cut their onions in this particular pattern. We're just going to make onion petals. And it's going to taste identical, but we're just going to have the petal part of it. So it's just cut differently. Double dip, wet, dry, in the freezer for 10 minutes, and then we fry it in oil. Okay? So let's take the largest one. This is the onion. Now, the end with the ponytail, the little end, you just cut off. You peel your onion, but you leave the root end attached. I trimmed it off, but you leave it attached, okay? Now, that's supposed to help it hold together. That's what they say. So, now we don't want to cut all the way to here. We want to go about a ½ inch down, and we just want to go through. And we go up the other side and go down. And then halfway and down, and halfway and down. Now we're going to cut the difference there. So we're going to go between those two and go down. Okay, so we're going to try and just make them fairly thin petals, and we're just going to cut down. Now, there's a core in the middle of this, and that core in the middle should try to be pulled out, but sometimes you can't get it out until afterwards. So now, once we've got it like this, we just kind of want to let the petals kind of fall open a little bit. Well, it's not going to do much. So we're going to just set this aside for now, and we're going to get the other ones cut. So this one here is going to be in this one's going to be in the deep fryer. This is going to be in the air fryer. So we're going to cut it the same way. Now I can tell you, the petals is the way that I would be going to do this, because I couldn't be bothered to do this. It's going to fall apart, I just know it is. But I love them when they present it in the restaurant, but I'm not a restaurant chef. So all right. Oh. Okay, so that one there, that's the next one. Now these ones are going to be petals. So what we're going to do with them is we're going to cut this little root end off. We're going to cut it in half, like this, and then we want to just cut it sort of around like this. We don't want to make it straight up and down. We want to kind of follow the curvature of the onion. And we will get the same petal effect that we get from the one that's you see, then we'll just break these apart. And we should have the petals. All right, so these two pieces are trash. I've got one more that I'm going to cut the same way. I'm going to take the end off, the root end off of this one. And we're going to cut it down. I sure hope this works out, because I love these things, but I never get to a restaurant, so I never get to have one. Oh, and I love onions, so we'd eat them no matter what, I'm sure. Ooh. All right, let's just separate these up a little bit. I thought since they had to sit in the freezer and the fridge, if I could get this part done, then Claudine wouldn't have to waste as much time. She'd be able to just sort of start with me to fry them. All right. Oh, I'm throwing it everywhere. All right. Let me just put this aside. I will put you on pause. I'll pick up my trash and I'll be right back. All right. Picked up my mess. And we're going to start again now. So let me take these things out of my way. Now, it said to start with the wet, I think. Yes, it started with the wet. So let's do the big one first, okay? So we're going to go in and we're going to put it up upside down. Then we're going to turn it over. And we want to just make sure that we sort of spread it apart a little bit to let some of the egg get into the petal area. Okay, now we'll put it back in the other one. All right, just like this. Now, we want to start just by sort of pulling the leaves or the petals apart a little bit. We're just going to try to get some of this flour mixture right down in there. That's where you have to get it all inside there in order to make it crispy. All right, now let's bring this up and turn it over, and now we're going to go back into the moisture, the wet one. Okay, and we want to again get that egg and milk right down in there. Okay, now we're going to bring that back out, and we're doing the double dip. All right. Now when we put this, now is this one going in the freezer or the fridge? This one's going into the freezer. It says for 10 minutes. And what that's going to do is it's going to make all of this breading sort of moist and stick to it. Okay, now let me take this off of here and put this on here, and let me just bring it over. Can you see how that's sort of opening up? Like that? Okay, so that's the first one. Now the next one is going to be the one that's going into the air fryer. So let's get it going. These are the hardest ones to do. These ones that are made into the blossoms, and especially this one that's a little bit smaller. When you have a bigger onion, the weight of it helps with that. That's probably Claudine telling me she's on her way. Anyway, let's just get this going in here, because I want it to have a chance to be in the fridge and freezer while she's on her way over. Okay, now let's, oh, I lost a petal here. Oh dear, okay. Now let's put it back in there. Let's put that like that. Now, this is the one that's going to go into the air fryer. So it would be interesting to see how they differ. Oh, I'm making a big mess in my hands, that's for sure. Okay. No, some of these little petals I'm just going to stick in this other bowl. Okay, now let's put that one on there. All right, so that's that one. Okay, so it's slightly smaller than the other one. Now, all the loose petals. So let's get the loose petals in to the moisture. Boy, I'm making a huge mess here. Good thing Bill's downstairs for coffee and not seeing this. He'd be going, what are you doing? All right, so that's in the moisture. And then into the breading. This double dipping is what's going to make it crispy, they say. They say, you see, I don't know. I haven't done it. I'm not usually somebody who does pernickety things, which is what this is. All right. So, now I'm going to put this back, shake it off, put it back in here. I could have used a little more flour, but I think it'll be plenty when I bring it back in. All right. Whoa. That is goopy. Okay, I'm going to have to put a little bit more flour in this one. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because my hands are so bad, I can't possibly do anything with the flour like that. I'm going to go wash my hands. I'll be right back, and I will get the flour. Okay, I'm gonna put you off for a minute, and I'm gonna get the flour, put these in the freezer. When Claudine's back, we'll be here again. Okay, I thought I would just show this before Claudine gets here. This one here is going to go into the air fryer. And I forgot to tell you that we take the spray and we, oh, I don't have much spray. I gotta go get more spray, sorry. I am never prepared. Okay, so they said generously spray it because it's going into an air fryer. So we're supposed to generously okay, now I've got it all over the table. So I did that, now it's going into the air fryer at 350 for 25 minutes. And I'll bring you back then. Okay, the air fryer just went off, so we're going to see, I've never lifted anything out of an air fryer before. So, I don't know how to do this actually, let me see.
So you pull that out.
That's hot, just a second. You might want to do that. I'll maybe, you hold that and I'll scoop.
No, there's got to be a better way. I'll scoop it.
Okay, there's a plate there.
This seems extremely dry.
Looks like it's going to go on fire.
It sort of does.
Just pop that in. Don't close it all the way. It's got to cool.
All
right, we'll take a look at it. This is very, very dry. They say crispy, but this is, I think, beyond crispy.
I think it's very dry.
That's very, very dry. But we'll put it on the table. We'll let it cool just a little bit, and then we'll try it out. But I'm not thinking that this is very successful.
No, I don't think that looks very good. It's like we want to drop it in some oil. Meanwhile, our oil is warming to temperature for the deep frying here. So.
Okay, we'll bring you back when the oil's up to temperature. Okay, I took one for the team, guys. I tasted that air fryer one. No, it's not good. It's going to be thrown away. It's too dry. Maybe instead of spraying it, we could have drizzled it with oil, but there was just way too much flour and spice on it, and it is hard as a rock. So it's a no-go. But Claudine's going to challenge it with oil fried. Here she goes.
Okay, well, I need to, first of all, not put it in my hand. I'll use that.
There's the spider right there.
Gotcha. Spider? Why do you call it a spider?
That's the name of the tool.
Okay. Well, we're going to set it in here.
And then you're going to tip it out, I guess.
So it stays in, but not in the spider.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Whoa.
Do you have a splatter guard, Mom?
Yeah, right in the cupboard.
Should have
Second
that out.
shelf.
Second shelf, not in the first. I don't see a splatter guard, Mom.
Oh, it's got to be there.
It's not. This will work. This will work here.
I had a splatter bite thing. You just look here.
All right. Well, it's definitely
deep frying. They
No,
say
it's
to
right
leave it
here.
for 10 minutes
Yeah.
without touching it. So the time is,
It's,
look at that.
okay. That is a good one.
Okay, put this over top.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
that'll
might
work a lot
partly
better.
have to turn it over. Because we don't have a deep pot of oil.
Yeah, our oil doesn't quite cover the top, but I think it will keep bubbling up.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll come back because we don't need you to watch the pot. So we will come back
Okay, we'll show you when it's done.
with the black button.
All right, well, we are, is this the plate one?
Yeah.
This one turned out quite a bit better than the other one. Oh, shoot, there we go. Now this is definitely, let me just see if I can tilt the plate, a blooming onion. And it will all just pull apart. You can see all the little bits there. We only cooked it for 5 minutes, actually. It did not take 10 because the bottom was already getting pretty dark. So anyway, we cooked it for 5 minutes and it's right here. And now Mom wants to try this. Okay. See, I'll set that there. Wants to try just little pieces of onions to make, like, what did you call them?
Petals.
Petals. Onion petals. So we're going to just deep fry a few onion petals and then we'll get back and show you how those turned out.
All right. Okay, here we are. This is the failure. This is the air fryer. And it's the failure for sure. This one's the pretty one that's done the deep fried oil way. And we've got the dip right here. This is just the petals. This is just with the dumpings. So this is what the petals are. You pull them off and you dip them. Okay, I'm going to sit for 1 second. I'm going to dip one and give it a try. Pauline, did you want to try this one?
Sure.
Okay.
Break off a piece.
Bill, do you want one?
Oh, I like the flavor of your dip.
Do you want the petals or the blossom?
A petal. It's nice and easy to eat, actually. It's good with the dip.
The dip is very good.
It's usually people use like a chipotle dip with their bloomin' onions, but
I didn't have any of the chipotle stuff, and we don't like the spice so much.
yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
think it was a
so
success.
I think part of it was a success. Ask me if I'm ever going to make it again. Nope.
You ever gonna make it again?
Nope. Next time I go to a restaurant. All right. Hope everybody has a good day, and we'll see you all tomorrow.